Ladies and gentlemen, greetings and welcome to Casual Discussion, the show where we talk and try to have fun. I'm your host, Zelrix, and today I wanted to talk to you about a subject that is a bit polemic. You see, I love comic books. I've read a lot in my life, I've watched a lot of superhero cartoons growing up, and still today Iron Man is my favorite fictional character of all time. But mostly, being born in 1998, I grew up in the 2000s, so when I was a child, I had access to a shit ton of astonishing superhero cartoons like Danny Phantom, The Spectacular Spider-Man, Ben 10, and of course the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited cartoons. And it is only very recently, while watching the end of the Justice League cartoon, that I asked myself, is it okay for Batman to actually abduct children, force them to dress in very bright colors so the bad guy will shoot at them? No, not that, the other thing. Why is Superman so overpowered? Why should I care? And what does it mean from a narrative standpoint? A while ago, I made a video on what does it means when Iron Man say, I am Iron Man, and today we're analyzing Clark Kent to come up with a definitive answer to this eternal question. Why is Superman so powerful? Not gonna lie, Superman is far from being my favorite superhero. Most of my knowledge comes from the cartoon and a little bit of comics that I've read while I was a kid. So if you are a very big Superman fanboy and you feel that you need to clarify something, the comment section is down below. The first thing we need to do to answer this question is to ask ourselves, what does powerful means in the DC universe? We actually have to compare it to its longtime rival, the Marvel universe. As Stan Lee once said, the Marvel universe is built to be a reflection of the real world. Marvel characters are relatable, they have problems. Whether it is Spider-Man's problem with money or Iron Man's alcoholism, these are situations that we can find in the real world. As for the DC universe, it's the opposite. The DC universe is populated with gods. DC superheroes are not built to be relatable. They're built to be worshipped, so you can look up to them. Then the question is, why is Superman, and by extension the DC universe, written that way? To understand that, we need to take a trip down memory lane and time travel to 1938. Lesson of history, kids. In 1938, with World War II just around the corner, we are in a period that we call the Great Depression. This was caused by a crash of the market at Wall Street, putting the United States and by extension the entire world into a period of economic crisis. Note that I am oversimplifying it, I'm not an historian. So one day in Ohio, two men decide to create a new character, a character that is meant to inspire hope. These two men were Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, and as you can imagine, the character was Superman. Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, and capable of leaping tall buildings in a single bound. So in June of 1938, Action Comic number 1 came out and The Man of Steel made his first appearance. The issue was sold for about 10 cents, which is about $2 or $3 today. The funny part is that a while back, a copy of original Action Comics number 1 was sold for over $3 million. $3 million dollars. Knowing the fact that the issue is 64 pages long, it means that one page of this issue is worth around $47,000 for a piece of paper. This! $47,000! Well, that's how you make your investment back. $3 million, god damn it. I think it makes me mad because I honestly really want to own Action Comics number 1. I need it bad. The point is, the world was in a very bad place. It needed something or someone to look up to. That's why it bothers me when people say that Superman is too powerful to be relatable. In a sense, it is true. You can't relate to Superman, but he's just not written to be relatable. Of course you can't relate. He's a symbol of hope, and every good symbol of hope, in my opinion, is not primarily written to be relatable. Think about it this way. Let's say you were in a situation where you were completely lost. You are going through a very bad breakup or a loved one just died. you need something to look up to bring you hope. And one day you find that thing, whether it's a hobby, an activity, somebody else, but it doesn't mean you have to relate to that thing. The important part is that you feel better because of it. As a matter of fact, you mostly need to feel safe, to feel that something is protecting you, to feel that something can carry you through your misery or at least help you get through it. So of course you can't identify to Superman because you're not supposed to. He's written to be a symbol of hope and a symbol of power, the protector of humanity, somebody to look up to in the dark. Over the years, Superman has gone through some drastic changes. The multiplication of other heroes, sidekicks and villains, more and more stories are always written with him, making him more and more powerful. So the question being, why should I care about a character that I cannot relate to, knowing fully well that he is powerful enough to overcome any challenges in his way? After all, most narratives follow a pretty universal set of rules. It always starts with the initial situation, followed by the inciting incident, also called the White Rabbit in honor of Alice in Wonderland, following the rabbit down the hole. The White Rabbit is a situation that our character will have to go through to begin his story. Then he's going to be put through some challenges, some conflicts, and that's why people say that Superman is a boring character. All his challenge, he can overcome them like that because he's just that much powerful. But that's not actually true. So back to the question, why should I care about his stories? To be honest, there will be as many answers as there will be people to ask the question. But here's my personal answer. First of all, yes, Superman is a very powerful character. So fighting a challenge for him that is hard to overcome is a challenge in itself. The fact that he's overpowered forces writers to always push through the limit of their imagination and creativity. And you have at least to respect that. Then there is also the fact that his arch nemesis is Lex Luthor, a mere human. Granted, just like Batman, he has an incredible IQ and he's also loaded with some super cash. It can help. But he is the proof that a mere human, born from human parents on Earth with no superpower whatsoever, can elevate themselves to a godlike status. With the right motivation. Superman was gifted at birth with superpowers. He can do things that Lex can only dream of. He has all the characteristics necessary to be a bully or a tyrant. Meanwhile, Lex Luthor is the underdog, the nerd, the smart kid who feels that he was just born with the wrong aptitude. But somehow, Superman is still the good guy and Lex Luthor the bad guy. It is a very interesting rivalry between them, and for it to work the way it does, Superman has to have godlike power. Imagine if Batman and Lex Luthor were arch nemesis. It would not be nearly as interesting because the end game would just result in who has the largest bank account. And I hear you, Lex Luthor can use kryptonite against Superman. Yes, but what you have to remember is that kryptonite is lethal for human too. It actually gave Lex Luthor cancer once. No, that's not why he's bald. And yes, there is kryptonite as weakness, there's also magic, and then there is the red suns. Superman does have obstacles to overcome, and the most interesting of them all is himself. The fans of Kill Bill know where I'm going with this. Superheroes have secret identities. Peter Parker for Spider-Man, Barry Allen for Flash. Iron Man doesn't give a damn, but he's loaded, who the f*** cares? Please answer disruptive Batman fanboy comments down below. But Superman has a very different secret identity. He was not born Clark Kent, he was born Kal-El from Krypton. Where Batman puts a mask on to fight criminals, Superman takes off his mask, his glasses of Clark Kent. When Clark wears the suit, that is when he is truly himself. The rest of the time he has to adapt to a world that is just not built for him. This is an actual quote from Superman to Darkseid after he has been fighting him with the help of the Justice League. That man won't quit as long as he can still draw breath. None of my teammates will. Me, I've got a different problem. I feel like I live in a world made of cardboard. Always taking constant care not to break something, to break someone, never allowing myself to lose control even for a moment or someone could die. But you can take it, can't you, big man? What we have here is a rare opportunity for me to cut loose and show you just how powerful I really am. Can you imagine how it must feel to know that one day you could sneeze and annihilate an entire solar system? Up, let me answer that for you. No, you can't imagine, because you can't relate. We've established earlier that Superman is not a character to identify to, but if it is true for the good stuff like flying and being invulnerable, the opposite is also true for the bad stuff. You can't imagine how it must feel to have a constant fear of breaking something, to have to measure yourself, not to kill someone or to cause a catastrophe. In this situation, you can only empathize with Clark. Clark is the kind of character that takes a nuclear blast in the face for you to survive because he can do it and he empathizes on the fact that you can't. So you have to empathize with him because you can live a normal life while he can't. While he can't, Clark can't. Empathy. That's why you should care about the Superman stories you read. And then, when a challenge big enough for the Man of Steel appears, you can be sure that the entire Earth looks in one direction. Proof in a single character, Doomsday. By now, almost every fan of comic books knows that Doomsday killed Superman, something that was thought to be impossible. You may not be able to relate to Clark, but what about the people of the DC universe, and in this precise case, what about the rest of the Justice League? At this point, the strongest being on Earth was just killed in a fist fight. You can totally imagine how normal citizens must have felt seeing the Man of Steel dead, how powerless and hopeless they must have felt. The world lost an icon, the Justice League lost a friend, and Martha Kent lost a son. Unfortunately, these are all feelings that you will eventually experience in real life. They made 2 movies adaptation of this comic, and in the most recent one, my favorite character didn't even have a name. It was the bartender. A bartender from Metropolis that loves Superman so much that he talks about him to his customer and he cries when Superman dies, holding a picture of them. But most importantly, while Superman was fighting Doomsday, he told everybody that if they had nowhere to go, they could hide in the bar with him, that he would protect them, the same way Superman was protecting Metropolis from Doomsday. That was beautiful, I'm crying, god damn it! Do you honestly think that the main concern of the bartender while doing that was for the people around him to relate to him? Of course not. He was trying to inspire them with hope and safety, something that Superman always does. So finally, to answer a question, Superman is overpowered because he has to be, and he is not relatable because he can't afford to be. He is made to inspire hope and safety. It is not the ability to fly or to be invulnerable that makes him a powerful character, but the fact that he is somebody you can look up to without him ever looking down on you. He's the ultimate Boy Scout, saving the widow and the orphan, inspiring hope, making humans feel safe, and using his power for good, but always keeping them in control to be sure that everybody is safe. And that, my friends, is why Superman is so powerful. Anyway guys, tell me in the comments down below how do you interpret Superman's power. So you guys know the drill, subscribe and activate the bell to be notified when a new video comes up, then follow me on Instagram to support my artwork, and as always, thanks for watching.